Respect is not a gift. It is not something handed to you out of kindness. It is not born out of your goodness or your compassion. Respect is a currency of fear, power, and dominance. And Machiavelli revealed this forbidden truth centuries ago when he wrote The Prince, exposing the raw psychology of human nature, a psychology that most people still deny even today. They will tell you to be nice, to be fair, to be endlessly forgiving. But Machiavelli cuts through the illusions and whispers the reality. People respect only what they cannot break, what they cannot control, what they cannot dismiss. And if you ever want true influence in this world, you must stop waiting for respect to be given and start taking it. Imagine standing in front of those who call themselves allies, friends, or even family. How many of them would still stand beside you if you lost your power, your money, your authority? This is why Machiavelli insisted that respect cannot be begged for, it cannot be negotiated, it cannot be demanded politely. It must be seized, commanded, and imposed. Because human beings are opportunistic by nature, they admire strength and despise weakness. They follow decisiveness and exploit hesitation. They obey those who enforce boundaries and betray those who forgive endlessly. Respect is not a product of love. It is a product of fear and admiration woven together, and it belongs only to those who dare to project authority without apology. History proves this over and over again. Rulers who begged for respect, who tried to win hearts with generosity, who believed that kindness was enough, were destroyed, forgotten, erased. Caesar showed mercy to his enemies and was stabbed in return. Louis XVI hesitated to crush rebellion and was dragged to the guillotine. But rulers who understood Machiavelli's law, who were cold enough to enforce cruelty when needed, who punished betrayal instantly, who built an aura of unshakable authority, these rulers endured. Cesare Borgia, ruthless in his cruelty, commanded such fear that rebellion was rare, because people knew hesitation was not in his nature. Machiavelli admired him, not for his morality, but for his results. Respect belongs to those who are feared more than they are loved, because love fades when fortune shifts, but fear binds men even when they hate you. And this same law governs modern life, your workplace, your relationships, your friendships. A man who constantly seeks approval, who bends to every demand, who avoids conflict in the hope of being liked, never earns respect. He earns exploitation. His kindness is seen as weakness, his silence as permission, his generosity as a resource to drain. But the man who imposes boundaries, who withdraws when disrespected, who refuses to beg for acceptance, he earns respect. People may complain, they may resist, but inside they admire because they recognize strength when they see it. Machiavelli's psychology teaches us that respect is an act of taking control of perception. You must decide how others see you, because if you do not, they will decide for themselves, and they will always place you beneath them if given the chance. To take respect, you must appear untouchable, decisive, and unshaken, even when you are not. Appearance, Machiavelli said, matters more than reality, because men judge more by what they see than by what they know, and perception creates power. A ruler who appears strong even when weak maintains obedience. A man who appears confident even when uncertain commands admiration. Never confess your fears, never display your doubts, never reveal your cracks, because the moment people see weakness, they will never see you the same again. Respect, once lost, cannot be reclaimed. And so the cold truth is this: respect belongs not to the kind, not to the merciful, not to the endlessly forgiving. It belongs to the cold-hearted, to the disciplined, to those willing to enforce fear when necessary. Respect is not taken through shouting, not through begging, not through demanding. It is taken through decisive action, through unshakable boundaries, through ruthless consistency. If someone betrays you, you punish, not with words but with distance, with consequences that cut deeper than speeches. If someone disrespects you, you do not explain why it hurt. You withdraw your presence, because your presence is the prize, and if you cheapen it, you lose it forever. Respect is maintained through scarcity, through control, through power. And in relationships, this law is even sharper. When a man shows desperation, when he reveals neediness, when he begs for attention, respect dies instantly, desire dies with it. But when a man shows strength, when he refuses to be broken, when he projects calm detachment, he becomes the standard, the prize, the one she cannot control, and therefore the one she respects. Respect is psychological warfare, and Machiavelli's insight is that the battle is fought not with weapons, but with perception, and the one who wins perception owns respect. Respect is not maintained by words. It is maintained by fear, by action, by the silent awareness in the minds of others that crossing you has consequences. And this is why Machiavelli insisted that it is better to be feared than loved, because love is fragile, conditional, and dependent on fortune. But fear is constant, enduring, and stronger than affection. People love you as long as it benefits them, as long as you serve their needs, as long as fortune smiles. But the moment fortune shifts, love dies, loyalty fades, and betrayal appears. Fear, however, binds men even when they despise you, because they cannot act against what terrifies them. Respect, therefore, is not about kindness, it is about authority, and authority is built on strength, decisiveness, and the refusal to compromise. Weakness erodes respect instantly, and the tragedy is that once respect is lost, it can never be fully regained. A ruler who shows hesitation invites rebellion. A leader who shows doubt invites betrayal. A man who shows desperation invites contempt. Respect is not negotiated, it is imposed. Machiavelli understood that mercy is dangerous, because when you grant it too freely, people come to expect it, and once they expect it, they no longer respect it. Generosity without limits breeds entitlement. Forgiveness without consequences breeds defiance. The cold-hearted understand this, and they wield mercy with precision, rarely, sparingly, as a weapon rather than a weakness. They know that to forgive without consequence is to announce that betrayal is safe, and nothing erodes respect faster than the belief that there is no punishment for disobedience. Respect belongs to those who act swiftly, decisively, and coldly when tested. Think of Cesare Borgia, who eliminated his enemies not with speeches, but with actions so sudden and brutal that no one dared to challenge him again. Machiavelli admired him precisely because his cruelty created stability, because his decisiveness created fear, and because his coldness commanded respect. In contrast, rulers who hesitated, who tried to win affection, who tried to build respect through love, collapsed. Respect cannot be built on love alone, because love is a request, respect is a demand, and this same truth holds in modern life. In business, a leader who constantly tries to please his team is not respected, he is mocked. In relationships, a man who constantly bends, constantly apologizes, constantly tries to earn respect through kindness, never receives it. He receives pity or contempt. Respect is won by setting boundaries that cannot be broken, by refusing to bend, by showing strength even when it costs you affection. The paradox is that the colder you are, the more respect you attract, and once you have respect, love may follow, but without respect, love is worthless. Machiavelli's psychology makes this clear. People are selfish, people are liars, people are fickle, and they will betray when given the chance. So your task is not to hope for their loyalty, but to control their behavior through fear, authority, and respect. Respect is not about being admired for your softness, it is about being obeyed for your strength. And the coldest truth is this: people respect those they cannot control. If you are untouchable, if you are unpredictable, if you are unbreakable, you are respected. If you can be bent, if you can be persuaded, if you can be manipulated, you are not respected, you are used. This is why Machiavelli urged rulers to learn not how to be good, but how to appear good, while being ready to act ruthlessly when necessary. Appearance creates the illusion of morality, but ruthlessness enforces respect. The cold-hearted know when to wear the mask of kindness, when to show a smile, when to pretend warmth. But behind the mask their heart is steel, their mind is ice, and their hand is ready to strike. They do not reveal weakness, they do not confess fear, they do not display doubt, because they know people are vultures circling for cracks, and once those cracks appear, respect dies. If you want respect, you must be prepared to walk alone, to endure hatred, to accept being feared, because respect often comes at the cost of being liked. The weak chase being liked and lose respect. The strong chase respect and often gain fear, but they endure. Respect is not comfortable, it is not soft, it is not easy, it is brutal, it is cold, it is earned through boundaries, consequences, and discipline. To live by Machiavelli's law is to accept that kindness without strength is weakness, that mercy without punishment is destruction, that love without respect is slavery. The psychology of power demands that you control perception, punish disobedience, and never let others believe they own you. Respect is not given, it is taken. And once you understand this, you will stop asking for it, stop begging for it, stop waiting for it, and you will start commanding it, imposing it, seizing it. Because in this ruthless world, only the cold-hearted endure, only the cold-hearted rule, only the cold-hearted are remembered. Respect belongs to them and them alone.